to the October 19th, 2023 meeting of the Southampton Town Zoning Board of Appeals. This meeting is being held live and also via video conferencing in accordance with the Town Board's enactment of Local Law Number 14 of 2022, adopted on May 24th, 2022. Our next meeting and those following will be held in person here at Town Hall and will also continue to allow for remote participation. So we ask you to continually check the town's website for updates and any new information. If you wish to view tonight's live meeting only, please do not join the Zoom meeting and instead go to the town's website. With that, I'd ask that you join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. For those of you who are here with us tonight in person, in case of an emergency evacuation, please exit through the rear doors of this room to one of the staircases across the hall and continue downstairs and out through the main entrance. Please do not attempt to use the elevators during an emergency evacuation. In case of a medical emergency, the automated external defibrillator and first aid kit are both located in the hallway on this floor opposite the elevator. Restrooms are located across the hall. We will be starting this meeting with the public hearings. We have applicants and members of the public here with us live and also standing by via Zoom webinar, which is being moderated by CTV. CTV will mute the speakers on Zoom until it is their time to give testimony before the board. Please be patient. If you find that you are having difficulties accessing the hearings, please visit the town clerk's meeting portal and click on the instructions link. Please silence your cell phones and refrain from speaking to one another in the boardroom as it interferes with our recording equipment. Tonight we have board member Helen Burgess participating via Zoom and board member Michael Daly is absent. A reminder that applicants, agents, and members of the public speaking, other than attorneys, will be sworn in, will state their address for the record, and will offer their testimony as it relates to the application before the board. Before handing in any submissions to the board tonight, please make sure that the documents identify the ZBA application name and tax map number. The application name should also be written on your certified receipts. Unless otherwise stated at the end of each hearing, all of these applications will remain open for written comments for all purposes until a date to be announced after the hearing. Those comments can be addressed to the members of the board and can be sent via email, mail, and/or dropped off at Town Hall to the board secretary, Candace Cowell. With that, I'd ask for a motion to approve the minutes of our last meeting.
So moved.
Second. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Mr. Tuthill.
Aye.
Ms. Kern.
Aye.
Mr. Macedonio.
Aye.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess. Chair votes aye. Minutes are approved. And now on to adjournments.
Okay, item 2 on the agenda, Town of Southampton Housing Authority will be re-advertised for our November 16th meeting. All right. Item 4, Susan and James Merrill, 31 Carlisle Lane, Sag Harbor, Suffolk County Tax Map 900-26-4-6. Applicant requests relief from the following provisions of the town code for a proposed detached garage. 330-76D, placement of accessory building structures and uses in all districts. And 330-83C yards to allow the garage to be located within the required minimum and required total side yard for the principal building and any other relief necessary. All right, we do have jurisdiction, I'll claim that, all right? And then I'll move to adjourn that to our November 16th meeting.
Second.
Mr. Tuthill.
Aye.
Mr. Macedonio.
Aye.
Ms. Kern.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess. Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Okay, number 6, Michael Gluckman and Lila Gluckman has been withdrawn. And then on to the decision calendar. All right, the following decisions will be put over to our, November 2nd meeting. 69 Wild Goose Lane LLC. David Sherwood and Michelle Beebe. Inter vivos deed of trust. Belfi and Belfi. Aaron Appel. Alexander Vyman. Productions Holdings LLC. And then, see here.
Would you do a motion for those?
Yep, so we
Yeah.
did a motion for them. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Hold on one sec, Candace. I just gave you the Bishop one. Is his written, is that written sub dated past October
It is.
6th?
Dated October 10th. We received October 11th.
All right, so you should adjourn that one. And, you know, that way you can reopen it, accept those subs, and accept whatever came today, too.
Okay. The following decision will be put off to our December 7th meeting. Matthew Frank. And that's all I got.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay. I'm gonna move to reopen Lisette Garashi, James Garashi, and Alfred Scasia.
Second.
Mr. Tudhill?
Aye.
Mr. Macedonio?
Aye.
Ms. Kern?
Aye.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess? Chair votes aye, reopen.
Okay, reopen it to accept written submissions. Having gotten them, I will make a motion to close with a determination later this evening.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
All right. Move to reopen Mary T. Shannon and Ann M. O'Connell to
Second.
accept written submissions.
Mr. Tudhill?
Aye.
Mr. Macedonio?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess? Ms. Kern?
Aye.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, reopen.
Okay, now I'll move to close it with a determination later this evening.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay, 17 Bishop LLC. I'll move to reopen to accept written submissions.
Second.
Mr. Tudhill?
Aye.
Mr. Macedonio?
Aye.
Ms. Kern?
Aye.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess? Chair votes aye, reopen.
All right, now I'll move to close with a determination on November 2nd.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay, I'll move to reopen Michael Vigiola and Francesca Dricott.
Second.
Mr. Tudhill?
Aye.
Ms. Kern?
Aye.
Mr. Macedonio?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess? Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, reopen.
Okay, getting the submissions, now I'll move to close with a determination later this evening.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I believe that's all I have.
Yep,
I think you're right.
yep.
Good job.
While you were gone, while you were gone, I don't know which one. I can't remember now. Let me go ahead.
Oh, okay. You already did that. Thank you.
Yes.
That was Merrill.
All right, back to the beginning of the calendar. Item 1 on the agenda is Mark Smith and Heather Cole, 23 West Diana Road in Hampton Bays, Suffolk County Tax Map 900-255-1-30. Applicant requests relief from Town Code 330-84D, Pyramid Law for a proposed encroachment in the amount of 1,066 cubic feet on the north side for a proposed second-story extension to an existing two-story dwelling on a non-conforming lot and any other relief necessary.
Do you have your affidavit of posting?
I do, yes. And I also received a return envelope from one of the mailouts,
Okay.
but we didn't receive any other ones.
Okay. I'll take it up. Thank you very much. The board has jurisdiction?
Okay, just have to swear you in unless you're an attorney. If you can just state your name and address for the record, please.
Sure, Anthony Portillo, A&P Architecture, 10200 Main Road, Mattituck, New York.
And do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can tell us about the application.
Portillo.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I'd like to start, I brought a couple things in, or one thing in for the board. Can I hand that to you guys now? or-
Give it to our attorney.
What is your attorney, please?
And I put the name and the tax map number on it after you said that.
Is this, there's a copy for everybody? you
Yes,
think?
yes.
Awesome.
It's 5, I think that's probably one short.
Well, not for everybody then.
Sorry.
Can't get one to Helen.
Well, yeah, well, we'll share, it's all good.
Sorry about that. I'll explain it as well. So the request is for a pyramid obstruction. The addition is, it's a second floor addition that's being proposed above an existing deck that's a rooftop deck that's off the second floor currently. And we are staying within that footprint. The yard of that portion of the building is, we're very close, so we're existing non-conforming already on the side yard. And the building itself is also non-conforming in regards to the pyramid law. So we're really not increasing non-conformancy. And we also are proposing a flat roof deck, which really does bring the structure down, instead of it being, a sloped roof. So that flat roof area really doesn't create more of a height obstruction. The lot is very narrow, which you can really see from that image I gave the board. And it's pretty common in the area that there are other narrow lots and homes that seem to be existing non-conforming, both side yard and pyramid. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get like street views of those other homes that are shown there, but I think it's pretty clear from the topographical or the map that you can see those homes are very, very close to the side yards. So I think it's common in the area that you have this situation. So I ask that the board consider that in their decision.
So just looking at the pyramid diagram,
Yes, sir.
looks like most of the second story deck is encroaching.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
The second floor addition.
Yes,
Yes.
and part of the addition as
Yes.
well. Yeah, yeah, okay. All right. Have you heard from any of the neighbors?
We have not, no letters.
Well, considering the amount of pyramid relief that's involved, we'll see if any of the neighbors are, here to object or express any concerns, but otherwise I can't see how it could have a negative impact on them, but we'll see what they have to say. if
What
they're-
is the width of the property? The width?
The width of the property is, sorry. 1 second, I have the,
Should be a survey, right?
yeah, I have the survey.
Looks like 65,
I can't see it in my
66,
glasses.
66.58.
67.32 at the front and then
Right.
in the
Yeah,
rear.
so basically around 66, 67 feet
Yeah,
across.
around 67, I'd say
Yeah.
average width.
So it's,
I don't have
Very
a problem with
it's
it.
now,
The property's constrained,
Right.
Very
it's not
narrow.
a tremendous amount of.
Minimum relief.
right, right. Okay,
There's also a note to put the flood zone line on the survey.
Okay, we can add that in, that's not a problem.
yeah, and that can be done in a written submission.
No problem.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, are there any other questions, members of the board? Is there anyone who's here in the boardroom who would like to be heard in connection with this application, which is the application of Smith and Cole for property located at 23 West Tiana Road in Hampton Bays? Is there anyone who's waiting to be heard on Zoom in connection with this application, which again is for property located at 23 West Tiana Road, Hampton Bays? If you are waiting to be heard on Zoom, this would be the time to let us know by raising your hand. No one on Zoom. Okay, if not, Helen, it is yours.
Okay, I have visited the property, and personally, I have no problem with the application. We can close the public hearing, we can leave it open for written submissions to November 3rd, with a decision on November 16th.
Second.
Second.
Okay, Ms. Burgess,
I
Mr. Leonard. Aye. Ms. Kern,
Aye.
Mr. Tidell,
Aye.
Mr. Macedonio,
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Thank you. Should all be that.
Okay, next one on the agenda will be item 3 on the agenda, 144 Mariner Associates LLC, 1054 Montauk Highway in Watermill, Suffolk County Tax Map 900-102-1-19. Applicant requests the following relief from Town Code 330-150B, special exception uses, veterinarian. Veterinarian hospital or kennel to allow the existing one-story metal building to be used as an emergency veterinarian hospital on a non-conforming lot. 1, a front yard setback from 50 feet to 39.7 feet from the east property line, Montauk Highway. 2, a side yard setback from 50 feet to 10.5 feet from the north property line. And 3, a side yard setback from 50 feet to 34.9 feet from the south property line, and any other relief necessary.
Board has jurisdiction?
Good evening, just swear you both in unless you're attorneys. If you can just state your names and addresses for the record, please.
Lisa Poyer, 24 Phoenix, 288 East Montauk Highway, Hampton Bays, New York, 11946.
And do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, ma'am?
Cindy Bressler, 36 Margaret Drive, Sag Harbor, New York, 11963.
And do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
And
Okay.
not even her last name.
Bressler, Bressler.
Okay, you can tell us about the application.
Good evening. The property is located in the highway business zone, and the adjacent properties to the east and to the west along Montauk Highway are also highway business zone properties. It's a dumpster, commercial retail, or commercial property on one side. It's retail facility on the other side. You have CR 60 across the street from Montauk Highway, and then behind the property is the railroad, and beyond that is CR 80. The application for you this evening is relief from the zoning code from section 330-150, specifically section number B, where it states that all the buildings must be 50 feet from the property lines for a veterinary building. This is an existing conditions facility. It's formerly the Ethan Allen store. The building is there, it's constructed, we're not looking to change any of the site conditions. The parking's gonna remain as it is. So we're seeking relief from the front yard of 10.3 feet, which would be a 20.6 requested relief in percentage. From the side property line, we're seeking 39.5 feet or 79% relief. And then from the other side property line, we're seeking 15.1%, 1 feet, for a 30.2 foot percentage of relief. I said we're not planning on changing anything on the site. We're looking to just do some interior renovations to the building to facilitate the veterinary hospital. I can go through the standards if you would like that, or I can.
Sure,
Okay.
quickly.
Quickly. The grant of the variance will not cause an undesirable change in the neighborhood. It's an existing structure. It's highway business zone properties on either side. They're commercial lots. I don't think a veterinary hospital will have any impact on, retail store or a dumpster facility that's to the other side in irrigation supply. Special trade contractor. Can the benefits sought be achieved by some other method? It's an existing facility, it's an existing building without doing substantial financial changes to the site. It's really it's really not something we can change. Will the variances sought be substantial? I believe the variances sought are not substantial, just because it is an existing building, it is in a highway business zone. The lot width is 100 feet, so in order to maintain a 50-foot setback from either side, it doesn't create any usable area for a building. And then will the grant of the variances have any adverse impact to the physical and environmental conditions of the town? Again, it's a commercial area. It's heavily trafficked. It's not gonna have, I think, any major impacts on traffic or any other site facilities. So, Dr. Bressler is here. She's a veterinarian, so if she'd like to say a
Hi.
few words.
Hi, everybody. So I'm a veterinarian who's been
Sworn in?
yes,
She was sworn in, yes.
thanks. I've been practicing on the East End for the past 20 years. I have been doing emergency house calls, specifically most of the time, most of those years in the summer. During the summer season, I also did house calls in Manhattan and New York City during the year. I started my summer emergency practice working all night on summer nights out here when a client of mine called me, and I was coming out here for some vacation time, but a client of mine called me and their dog was hit by a car, and they tried to make it to Riverhead where the emergency hospital is, but the dog died on the way. And back in 2003, you know, I was like, wow, how can, it's so sad that they couldn't make it to the closest emergency hospital. So I said, you know, I'm going there anyway. I'm gonna just bring some things in my car and see how I can help. I don't mind working at night. I actually like being available at night, you know, when no one else is available. So I started my practice, and I did weekends for all the summers, you know, up until COVID. And then COVID, I moved out here, like a lot of other people. And, you know, I love it out here. And although we have saved a lot of lives over the years, and I work with all the other veterinarians. I know them all for many, many years. They've given me keys to their hospital. We've gone in the middle of the night to do different things. But even though it was myself and the nurses that work with me, it's not enough to help all of the animals in need. You know, there have been so many occasions where something happened and I was actually close by, and I have oxygen, I have fluid machines, everything in my car, and was able to really save some lives. But there needs to be an emergency hospital here to help the animals, and we're not interested in a kennel, any boarding, grooming. We don't want to do any of that. There's not going to be a lot of noise. I just want the animals that need to be in the hospital there. I feel like, especially at the beginning, it'll be a few animals every night. It may, hopefully will grow, and we'll be able to, you know, service the community. And also we will work with all the veterinarians here. I'm friendly with all of them. They know me for many years. I'm not interested in taking their clients. I'm interested in working with them. I realize that there's a need for the weekends and the weekend night, like, I'm not just the weekends, every night. And also sometimes on Sunday when the other vets are closed, there's not enough, or people get, you know, have like 3 weeks, they say we can see you in 3 weeks. If they see you in 3 weeks, the dog is sick then, so we like to work when everybody else is not available. So I feel that it is really important. You know, there won't be a lot of noise. We will clean up all the waste. We, you know, have a lot of experience in disposing properly of cadavers. I know that's a concern for a hospital. I don't think it will interfere with the neighbors, and I just think that I just wanted to stress how important I think it
I don't have
is.
a problem with this.
I don't know.
Having had to go to Riverhead for emergency services, I
Yeah.
would welcome
Yeah.
having emergency
Yep.
services for animals here.
Thank you.
Okay.
If we
So
all
let me
have
just
animals.
ask a question.
That's great, yeah.
You said the property width is 100 feet, so any kind of like, you can't adhere to the 50-foot setback.
Correct.
Now, the 50-foot setback is specific to veterinary hospitals?
Correct, it is.
Okay, okay, so that's what we're really doing,
And I
the,
just
yeah.
wanted to add that the planning board did discuss the application, I think as a referral or preemptively referral from your board, and they had no issues with the application, and we know we have to go through site plan special exception application with the board itself.
Right,
So we're
Okay.
aware of that.
yeah. Have you heard from any of the neighbors?
No, we have not.
Okay. So, I mean, if none of the neighbors are concerned about it, I mean, especially because these are commercial properties, arguably, if it was residential properties, I could see somebody maybe, you know, concerned about getting a disturbance during, you know, during the night, but I just can't see it having a negative impact, but we'll just, you know, just see if anybody's here.
is this going to be open day and night or just night?
So I want to be open when the other vets are not open,
Okay.
except for if there's overflow, you
Okay.
know? So a lot of times they say, oh, like Sundays only a couple of the vets are open.
Yeah.
On holidays,
Right,
only a couple
right,
of the vets are
right.
open.
Right.
So we can, you know,
So
start
you're
at
trying
night,
to provide a niche for your,
just when.
and it's
when-
also not gonna impact traffic or anything because it's gonna be at night, so,
Right, it's gonna be at night,
It's traffic, it's heavy traffic anyway.
right,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
right.
It's probably the same people. who
Hopefully
close the
you will,
tax.
you will not need us, but
yeah.
we're here. We will be
Hopefully
there
not.
if you
Well,
do.
and it's a great cause.
Yeah,
Thank
it
you.
is, it is.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, okay. All right, so I wanted to ask, any other questions? Is there anyone in the boardroom who'd like to be heard in connection with this application, which is the application of 144 Mariner Associates LLC for property located at 1054 Montauk Highway, Watermill? Is there anyone who's waiting to be heard on Zoom in connection with this application, which again is for property located at 1054 Montauk Highway in Watermill? If you are waiting to be heard on Zoom, this will be the time to let us know by raising your hand.
Hold on, Anthony, do we have a referral report from the planning board, or?
Yes,
We do, thank you.
and that's accurate, the planning board didn't
Okay.
raise an issue.
Okay. Kevin, nobody on Zoom? Okay, thank you.
Okay, so it's mine. I will hold it open for written submissions until 11/3 with a decision on 11/16.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Macedonia.
Second,
Aye.
Ms. Kern,
Aye.
Mr. Tudhill,
aye.
let me see, Ms. Burgess, Mr. Leonard. Aye. Chair votes aye. Thank you
Good
both
luck,
for being
ladies.
here.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, item 4 on the agenda is Susan James Merrill. You did this already, right?
Yep. Now it's a
Yeah.
change.
All right, so we'll go right to item 5, which is Lake Creek Properties, 30 Flanders Road in Riverside, Suffolk County Tax Map 900-118-2-8. Applicant requests relief from the following provisions of the town code. 1, for 4 freestanding signs, 330-205B3, general provisions, and 330, attachment 9. To allow 4 freestanding signs where only 1 freestanding sign is permitted. 330-207A, illuminated signs to allow 4 internally illuminated freestanding signs in a village or business zone where said signs shall only be allowed in a highway business zoning district. 330-206A zoning districts to allow the 4 freestanding signs to be constructed of different metal where all such signs shall be made of only of wood or wood appearing material. And 4, 330-210.1C, design guidelines for the use of multiple colors for a sign where only 3 colors are allowed. 1 for background, 1 for contrasting color for the lettering, and the 3rd color perhaps for emphasis, such as for borders, motifs, or shading lettering to give it a 3-dimensional look. 2, for a proposed wall sign on the mansard roof, sign number 5 on the site plan, 330-131.1V2, restaurant, fast food. For a proposed roof sign to be installed on the front of the building where only a wall sign flat against the building is allowed. 2, to allow the roof sign to be 48 square feet in area where a maximum of 24 square feet in total is allowed. And 3, 330-205A3, I think that's a C, to allow the structural supports of the roof sign to be exposed where the supports shall appear to be an integral part of the roof or roof sign and enclosed or otherwise hidden from view. 3, for 2 proposed internally illuminated single-sided freestanding menu boards signs. Sign number 1 and sign number 2 on the site plan, 330-131.2D, restaurants, drive-through, to allow the proposed signs to have an area of 19.99 square feet each, where no freestanding order or menu board shall be permitted. And 4, for 2 proposed pre-browse board signs, sign number 3 and sign number 4 on the site plan, 330-131-2D, to allow the proposed to have an area of 10.3 square feet each where no freestanding order or menu board shall be permitted and any other relief necessary.
Board has jurisdiction.
Good luck,
Pass
Adam.
that to Adam.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Unless you're an attorney, I think you're an
am.
attorney, so
Yeah.
don't have to swear you in.
Okay.
You can tell us about the application.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Taylor Gonzalez. Oh, okay, I am here today for the McDonald's sign variance application for the McDonald's restaurant located at 30 Flanders Road, Riverhead, New York. As a matter of housekeeping, the public notice mailing and posting were performed in accordance with the town code and were submitted to the ZBA secretary prior to the hearing. At this time, we would like to submit the following documents in further support of the application. Aerial photographs of the surrounding area, the site layout plan prepared by Bowler dated November 12th, 2020, signage plan prepared by Bowler dated November 12th, 2020, last revised May 24th, 2023. Color rendering prepared by North Shore Neon Sign Co. dated November 2nd, 2020, last revised January 25th, 2023. Site photographs of the existing pylon and roof sign, the prior ZBA approvals for the double drive-through and existing menu boards, and the relevant certificate of occupancy and certificates of compliance. With me this evening are the following experts who will discuss the application, are available to answer any questions you may have. Matthew Tyler of Bowler, the project civil engineer, and Ethan Shakovsky of Atlantic Traffic and Design,
the project traffic engineer. The application seeks to make the following improvements to the existing McDonald's restaurant drive-through to replace the 2 existing internally illuminated 41 square foot menu boards with 2 internally illuminated menu boards, each with an area of 19.99 square feet, to add 2 internally illuminated preview boards and replace the existing McDonald's wordmark roof sign with a new McDonald's wordmark roof sign.
Can you just go through that a little bit more slowly? I want to just
Yes.
recapture that, what you're asking for. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
You want to replace the 2 existing menu
So
boards.
we're replacing the 2 existing menu boards that are currently 41 square feet with 2 internally illuminated menu boards with an area of 19.99 square feet.
Each.
Yes. And 2 internally illuminated pre-browse boards, which are 10.03 square feet. And then we're replacing the existing wordmark roof sign with a new wordmark roof sign.
And all those signs have certificates, they're all legal or
Currently, yes.
pre-existing?
Yes, they're all pre-existing.
Just upgrading them.
Yes, except for the pre-browsers are the only 2 new boards. Its general background, property is located at 30 Flanders Road and is located in the Village Business District. The property has been improved with a McDonald's restaurant since circa 1971 and has been a drive-through since 1984. The property has an overall area of 58,433 square feet with an existing building area of 2,196 square feet. The surrounding area is predominantly made up of commercial properties used as gasoline stations as well as undeveloped or vacant land. To the west of the property are commercial buildings and a gasoline service station. To the north is the Peconic River, and on the opposite side, located in the town of Riverhead, is the Peconic Riverfront Park and a parking lot for commercial businesses. East of the property is undeveloped wooded land, and south of the property across Flanders Road is a vacant gas station and a vacant building.
That's the 7-Eleven, I think, the application.
Across the street.
Yeah.
Across the street, yeah.
Is the
Yes.
application,
Yeah.
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 And I also just want to mention, I don't mean to interrupt your train of thought, is we have prior variance from 2016 that was amended in 2020.
Yes, I was just.
And so I know you're gonna talk about it a little bit,
Yeah.
but we're gonna talk about, the necessity of you having to come back. I understand that some of this was not addressed previously in the prior application, but in any case, we will talk about that.
Okay, perfect. So just to touch on, as we were just saying, so on July 21st, 2016, decision number D016100, this board granted variance relief for, among other things, to allow for 2 41 square foot internally illuminated menu boards, a variance to allow for the double drive-through. It should also be noted that the board's 2016 decision agreed with the planning board and that the double drive-through menu boards are acceptable as they disseminate information and are not visible from the roadway. On July 15, 2016, the planning board granted site plan approval to modify the site to create the double drive-through lanes. As this application is substantially similar to what was previously approved by the board and the planning board, we submit that granting variance relief will not change the long-standing use of the property or change the established commercial character of the area.
So if you go back to the public hearing from 2016, I was there, and I think a few other people.
I think you wrote the decision, didn't you? Yeah,
Well, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Did I
I think
write
you
the
did.
decision?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I may have signed the decision.
well,
Whatever,
maybe either way.
No, that one I didn't write. But in any case, in the beginning of that hearing, you will probably have heard me and maybe somebody else, but definitely me say, well, when it comes to fast food restaurants and national chains, well, we understand that national chains want to have consistency from one location to another. We have our local rules, and we have our the way we want things to look, that sometimes is consistent with what a national chain does and sometimes is not. And so I just want to mention that was said in 2016. I'm reiterating it again. Not that I have any particular concerns right now, but I just wanted to kind of share that information just so you understand. We want you to be successful as a business, but we also want you to the extent that you can, comply with our codes.
Yeah, perfectly understand.
Well, things, COVID has changed things too when it comes to the chains. You
That's
know what I
true.
mean?
That's true.
Everybody's doing the drive up.
Yeah.
A lot less going inside, sitting down and having a meal.
Yep.
Anthony does that, but not me.
Uber Eats.
Yeah, yeah.
But as I understand it, it's the 2016, you were granted variance for 5 freestanding signs, is that correct?
Yes.
And now you're asking for 2 additional.
2 additional, yes.
So you
that'll
would
bring
have
us to
7.
Yes.
Is that considered, excessive? I mean, Anthony?
Well, yeah, we definitely want the planning board's
Yeah,
perspective
we
on this.
definitely do.
Yeah.
Has this been referred to planning
Well,
board?
well, I did wanna ask, I don't know if this would go to planning, because
It's just signs.
it's just
Yeah,
signs, it
it's not
has a
site plan.
CO.
Yeah.
Usually if you don't have a CO or you're going to the planning board for what they were going through before the drive-through, it would go to planning, but I don't
Right,
think this
right.
goes to
Okay.
planning.
Okay.
And none of the signs are visible from the road, you said, right?
The only one is the pylon and the roof sign.
It's the
The
roof sign.
pylon's already CO'd.
Yeah.
Right, that's the one in the front.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the freestanding dual
Yes,
pole.
which
Yeah.
we
Right,
got
right.
approval for in 2016, came back and
exactly,
revised in
Yeah,
2019.
that's down.
Right,
That's fine.
got that.
But also, as you indicate in your testimony, this McDonald's has been there for a very, very long time.
Yes.
I drive by there every day.
1970.
I go there.
And so, I think it's probably fairly well known. I understand you want to be out there and you want to be successful, and I'm all for that. But the question is the
So-
Well, I didn't know, what are the 2 extra
They're
freestanding
the-
signs for?
The pre-browse, it's like, you kind of, what does she call
I'll
it?
bring up our experts as
Okay.
well.
Pre-browse.
No problem, and I just have to swear you in, unless you're an
yeah.
attorney. You can just state your name and address for the record, please.
Matthew Tyler, 275 Broad Hollow Road in Melville.
And do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, so if you can expand upon, I guess, the discussion we're having right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So the 2 additional signs that are being proposed that are in addition to the 5 that we have previously CO'd is just the 2 pre-browse boards. In addition to being the additional menu boards, what they do is they are mainly there to accelerate the drive-through process for customers. So what they do is they show, the popular items or the items during the day, so like breakfast items that are popular, so like a McMuffin or anything like that. And then they could switch during different times throughout the day. So lunch, dinner, they'll show the popular items or any specific deals that are going on during that day, which gives the drivers or customers ideas before they hop to the order point. And from that order point, they could accelerate their process of ordering and really get people in and out of that drive-through as quickly as possible.
And these signs also are not gonna be visible from the road?
Correct.
Okay, so that's a significant factor.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're going to be internally lit?
Yes, there will be digital menu boards.
And was there some discussion about how many colors and things like that, and metal versus wood?
So these are metal signs. There's not really an option to do any type of wood finish on these. These are straight from the manufacturer. In regards to different colors, it's gonna be a white light with the colors of the hamburgers and French fries and stuff like that. Nothing that's like a LED advertisement. It's more just to illustrate the items that you're going to be ordering.
Right, so it'd be hard to have like 3 colors. Or
It would be
something like
hard.
French fries, hamburgers, and ketchup.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I understand the need for needing, you're wanting to do this. And it wasn't something that was asked for, requested previously, at the prior in 2016. Did you, just wanna make sure we're not,
No,
Yeah.
it wasn't asked for, this is a.
okay. If you
newer-
wanna just go to the microphone, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so the pre-browse boards are a little bit newer than what we proposed in 2016.
Okay,
As for the digital, the coloring, it's similar to what we have now. There's also pictures on there. They don't comply with the 3 colors. Our existing signs are also metal, like these ones. I will say that the combined square footage of the pre-browse and the menu board is going to be 30.9 square feet. We're currently just our menu board for each individual drive-through lane is 41 square feet.
So you're
So
reducing.
We will be
Smaller.
reducing, even though there's 2 separate signs.
right.
And they will, again,
You're
be in
having
the
more
back.
signs, but you're reducing the size of each.
Yes.
Okay.
And I would imagine, trying to have wood as opposed to metal would be logistically pretty much, not impossible, but very
So
expensive.
very expensive, yes.
Be hard to illuminate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's
It would be a border, it wouldn't be a,
Right,
it would be a
right,
border.
yeah.
And what's the sign on the roof?
Yes, so I believe
There's
in
one
the
there already, right?
package I sent, I
Okay.
distributed, there are pictures.
Where's the picture?
Yes, so this is the new proposed roof sign right here.
Do you have a
There are
tab
also
where that
pictures in
is?
your packages. There's also the existing roof sign, should be in your package as well. Right now, it's just plain white with exposed brackets. We're proposing to update to address the concerns of the existing roof sign and more accurately align with the aesthetic of the previously approved pylon sign in the town code by introducing a simple burgundy cedar panel with white trim and easy-to-read white letters.
Okay.
So.
Now it's just all white, right?
Now it's all white, but it's also metal, so it doesn't comply with sections of the code, which this one now will.
I have no problem with it.
Well, have you heard
My-
from the neighbors?
Just to ask, I have a concern, we keep talking about how it's not visible from the street. I don't believe that that's entirely accurate. I drive by that McDonald's virtually every day, and as you are coming up Flanders Road, you can see, because it's not, it's not vegetated, so I would just be concerned that we would be adding in some condition that would not be able to be met. Because it may not be seen from the road looking straight on, but as you're coming up Flanders Road, is that any consideration that anybody has?
Is there
It's
a way to
far- it's set
vegetate
far
it,
back,
so
though.
you
What?
can't
It's
see?
set
It's
far
set far back, I'm just, no, I don't, I mean, in that area, are we going to have them vegetate? It doesn't make sense to me.
Put a
It's
bush?
so commercial with the vacant gas station across the street,
Right.
No, or just-
which is an eyesore. So I just wonder, talking about, oh, it's not visible from the street, when I don't wanna have a condition that cannot be met.
Yeah, well, to your
That's-
point, that those ones are significantly bigger, they are 41
The
square
ones you
feet
have
right
now?
Yes, so
Okay,
these
yeah,
will be.
40 as opposed to 19.
Yeah, the menu boards will be 19.9 and the pre-browse will be 10 square
Right.
feet. So significantly smaller, much harder to see, especially given how far set back.
Right, I would just not wanna see any kind of a condition like that they be non-visible from the street, simply because I don't think that that's feasible.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
what I'm getting is that what you're proposing to do right now is going more in the direction of the code as opposed to going away from it.
Yes, those
Right.
are attached.
So, and that's a good thing, that's a good thing, yeah, okay, all right, have you heard from any of the neighbors?
No, we haven't received any.
Okay, all right, okay, any other questions or comments? Well, there are neighbors, there may be vacant gas stations, but,
The
abandoned gas
oxygen,
stations.
the oxygen therapy place.
Well, a
next
couple
door
of
that-
other vacant buildings, one of them lit on fire not too long ago. But,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to ask if there's anyone who's here in the boardroom who would like to be heard in connection with this application, which is the application of Lake Creek Properties LLC, McDonald's Corporation, for the property located at 30 Flanders Road in Riverhead. Is there anyone who's waiting to be heard on Zoom in connection with this application, which is again for property located at 30 Flanders Road in Riverhead? If you are waiting to be heard on Zoom, this would be the time to let us know by raising your hand.
No one on Zoom.
No one on Zoom? Are we waiting for anything on this one?
Don't believe so.
Okay.
Actually,
Do we refer to
Yes.
the Suffolk County Planning
Suffolk County
Commission?
Planning Commission referral, but we can still do the 2 weeks and
Okay,
we'll see what happens.
okay. All right, okay. So I will move that we close the application except for written submissions. The deadline for written submissions will be November 3rd, end of business, and we will have a decision ready at our November 16th meeting.
Second.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Ms. Kern?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess? Mr. Tuthill?
Aye.
Mr. Macedonio?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Thank you all for being here. Have a good rest of your night.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, you guys drive by it.
Every day, every day. Every day? Yeah, I drive by it. Every day.
I go there a
Well,
lot.
Monday through Friday, anyway.
Item 7 on the agenda,
I was on with the years.
Eugenio Presta, 626 Dune Road, in West Hampton, Suffolk County Tax Map 900-391-1-34. It's held over from a few meetings.
Anybody here?
Do we have Susanna on Zoom? Susanna Herman?
No.
That's interesting, she came up with
This is a lot of relief, right?
Kevin,
What was that?
do we have Susanna Herman on Zoom?
Oh, yeah.
No, anybody from N Consultants? Okay, no, they're not for this one.
You second call it?
Second call it.
Okay.
All right.
Item 8 on the agenda is Joseph Velocio, 219 Ocean View Parkway in North Sea, Suffolk County Tax Map 900-64-1-46.3.
You there, whatever you like.
Whatever you- Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, I believe you were previously sworn in, so pretty much you're coming in to give us an update. I
Correct.
know we got a submission, but I just want to mention, I understand the submission was, that we gave to Candace the other day.
Yes.
But I don't believe it's been fully vetted by the building department at this point.
Correct. We've been going back and forth between the architect and Marjorie, from the building inspector.
Okay.
So I apologize, it wasn't given, I guess, in time for this evening. But maybe I can just give the highlights of what we're trying to accomplish and the changes.
That's fine, and we did get copies of it,
Great, thank you.
but the thing is, that if the building department is
Sure,
unhappy, you may have to revise it, just so you
No, fair enough.
understand.
I think
And
I-
you may have to come back because of that,
No
so,
problem.
yeah, okay.
So I think from last time, the idea was that the accessory structure, or accessory apartment, was too large in comparison to the main structure. So in this revision, we've just enlarged the main structure, made, as part of the application for a building permit, would be to make the existing structure to a size that would allow for approximately 786 or roughly 800 square foot accessory apartment. And the relief we're looking for is, the house or the property was rezoned after it was built and turning into a non-conforming lot from CR, I think it was 880 to CR 200. And the property is just a 2-acre property. So the two elements of zoning relief I'm looking for is, that's a non-conforming lot to allow me to be able to build this accessory structure. I think at the moment I'm allowed to build it as an accessory structure, but not as an apartment. So I could go forward and I think without the zoning board approval, just as of right, but I'd like to be able to have, you know, an apartment here as well. And then finally, a driveway, an additional driveway for it.
So what is the change from what was originally proposed? and
It was,
what's
I think
revised?
initially there was no changes to the main structure. The main structure was, as it is right now, is a shy of 2,000 square foot home. And then it was asking for another 2,000 square foot accessory structure. I think, but then you look at your codes and you change it to make it a 4,000 square foot existing home and then like an 800 square foot accessory structure. So shifting the square footage around.
Okay, and do you know what the percentage is between the?
Sure, it's 27%.
Now 27.
I think you're allowed 35% for accessory apartment. So we just made it down within the guidelines you requested. I tried to take all the feedback from our last conversation and redesign something that would be acceptable.
So you're not
Okay.
asking for, again, this is all preliminary because we have no building
understand.
department setbacks or anything like that, pyramid relief?
No pyramid relief, no setback relief. There's only two elements of relief that I'm aware of. It's a non-conforming lot. And I think it would have to be a 160 square foot lot, 160,000 square foot lot under the current zoning of CR 200. But since it was changed after the house was built, some kind of non-conforming lot has been created. So that's the first element I'm asking for relief, and the second is to have a second driveway for the accessory structure.
Where is it at with planning? It's still with planning?
No, it's not with
No, it's not with
planning.
planning.
He had just,
Building.
they had
Oh, building,
revised the
building,
plans
okay.
and gave them to Marge, and Marge
Okay.
just yesterday, so she couldn't confirm the sizes or
Right.
anything.
Right, right, and I think Marge had some concerns, but I don't know what that means, I don't know whether that's.
Sure, we could revise them. I think, I met with her a couple times.
Okay.
I think you're just tweaking some things, some definitions, but
Should we
I think
hold it open
concept-
to that?
Oh, yeah,
I think
Yeah.
so,
Okay.
absolutely.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So, but before,
So we need to confirm all these numbers.
We do,
Right.
we do.
Right.
Okay, so, but just wanna ask, I guess you haven't heard from any of your neighbors at this point?
Not since the last time.
Okay, okay.
Cause there was somebody in opposition the last time, right?
Right,
Correct,
there
there was.
And you haven't spoken with her,
I
or?
haven't had a conversation.
Okay.
Okay. All right, any other questions? Is there anyone?
Given the new plans, is there a need to re-advertise?
Yeah.
No,
No?
because he's
Okay.
only reducing the request for
correct.
relief. I
Right.
think you should have one more public hearing so that the
Okay.
board can look at the plans, take March's comments and.
Right.
Okay.
Sure.
And also have a chance to digest them, because we're handing them.
Just
you know.
look, I'm just looking at them now.
Okay.
Understood. I'd like
Yep.
to come back as soon as possible, if that would be,
Okay, well, first of all, let me just see if anyone's here. So, I want to ask if there's anyone who's here in the boardroom who would like to be heard in connection with the application of Aloisio for property located at 219 Ocean View Parkway in North Sea. Is there anyone who's waiting to be heard on Zoom in connection with this application, which is again for property located at 219 Ocean View Parkway in North Sea? If you are waiting to be heard on Zoom, this would be the time to let us know by raising your hand. No one on Zoom. Okay, we do have room for like one adjournment for our next meeting, which is November 2nd. Would that work for you?
yes, please.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, so, so I will move that we adjourn the application Aloisio for all purposes until our November 2nd meeting.
Second.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Mr. Macedonio?
Aye.
Mr. Tudhill?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess? Ms. Kerr?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Thank you, we will see you in a couple of weeks.
Thank you very much.
Okay, very good. Thanks, you too.
And was that 11:02?
11-2.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's what I said, right, 11-2?
Yes.
I can't remember what I'm saying anymore. I'm sorry? Oh, okay. Good, okay.
All right,
So-
well, we're gonna go on to number 9.
No, go back to 7.
Seventh here?
Oh, yes.
Oh, which
Susanna's
one do you
here.
want to do, Suzanne?
What do you want?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
9?
All right.
9 is what, lesser?
All right, item 9. All right, we're gonna do that. 62 Noyak Harbor Road in Noyak, Suffolk County, tax map 900-4-1-75.1. Okay, good luck.
Just got this.
Have a letter to add to the file.
Do I have this file, Kim?
No, it's down here.
Okay.
You pass it down, we'll put it in here.
So just pass the original down to Anthony, please.
Anthony,
This goes to Michael.
That's just going
we
to
have
the
one in
file.
file.
It goes to
Yeah,
Anthony.
yeah.
It's down here.
So it's gonna go into the basket.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I should have a copy for everyone.
Here.
Okay.
So, since the, Alright, Susanna Herman and consultants for Stephen and Melissa Lessar. This is 62 Noyak Harbor Drive. As you may remember, we were here September 7th, requesting a total side yard variance from 27.2 down to 21, and a pyramid variance. We were asking for a total relief of 506 cubic feet. That included a 22 feet for the cupola. Since then, we've submitted revised plans, which you should have, which reduces the pyramid relief that we're currently requesting to 4,972 cubic feet, which is 1,589 for the east side and 3,383 cubic feet for the west side of the house. The cupola has been eliminated. So, and just to remind you, the existing house has pyramid nonconformity of 3,707 cubic feet. So we're asking for an additional cubic feet of 1,265 over the existing nonconformity. So we reduced the pyramid relief that we were requesting by reducing the first floor ceiling height.
To what?
9 feet and change.
very much.
Well, we're now asking for 5 cubic feet less than this board granted the adjacent property a few years ago,
What year?
2019. They were given 5 cubic feet more, a total of 4,977 cubic feet on the adjacent property, which is almost identical to this property.
For 1 story? Or for 2?
2 stories. They're both 2-story houses. They're both lots that are about the same size. That property is about 1 or 2 feet wider than this property.
So I assume they're not gonna complain.
No, they submitted a letter in support, as did the neighbor on the other side. We have submitted neighborly approval letters from virtually everyone in the neighborhood. Everyone that was notified by mail responded in writing that they are in favor of the project. So the property next door at 60 Noyak Harbor Road, I submitted copies of their variance. The property is almost similar, I mean, it's almost exactly the same. The variance we're requesting is 5 cubic feet less. Would be very difficult to create a distinction in my mind as to why this property would not receive a variance when that one did.
Although I don't know whether the lot size is different or whether there are other features on that property that are different.
I submitted a copy of the survey. It's basically the same. They had to get a wetland permit. They had to meet about the same wetland setbacks that we did. The width is virtually the same. I think that was in my previous testimony. The width of that one, I think, is 72 and we're 69 in location of the building envelope. They also have a garage and a septic system in the front yard. I mean, if you look at the 2 surveys side by side, you'll see they are virtually the same. The house sizes are the same. Very, very hard to differentiate in my mind. There was also a pyramid variance approved 2 doors down from this one, two lots to the east, for a 2-story house, 10 feet from the property line, and also for a garage that's a little farther back in time, so they didn't enumerate it in cubic feet like we do now. But it's a 10-foot setback to 18-foot high garage, 2-story house, similar distance to the property line. So also very similar pyramid variance approved 2 doors down from this one. Other pyramid relief is granted in the neighborhood and on Cedar Point Lane, which is just around the corner. And just to remind you, this house is 120 feet from the street. So the visual impact on anyone in the neighborhood is going to be non-existent. There is a garage that sits between the street and the house, so you're really not gonna see it. It's also at the end of a cul-de-sac, and the cul-de-sac has a big circular area in the middle of it that has large mature trees. So there's not a view of this house as you're coming down the street either. There's tall trees on either property line, so there's no visual impacts to the east or the west. And as I mentioned, there are letters of support in your file from everyone in the immediate vicinity. There's no feasible alternative to the proposed project that will not require variance and offer the same benefits to the homeowners. It's a constrained lot. It's an R40 zoning district, but only 20,950 square feet. And as I mentioned, it's only 69 feet wide, where 150 feet is required. The lot is waterfront, so we obviously had to get a Southampton Town Conservation Board wetland permit. And about 1/3 of the property has been designated as naturally vegetated, non-disturbance, non-fertilization buffer. So 1/3 of the property, which is currently lawn, all the way down to the wetlands line, is going to be revegetated all the way up to a buffer that's from 70 to 100 feet wide. We've submitted to the Conservation Board an extensive revegetation plan that keeps the there's the one mature tree that will remain, and the rest will be planted with native shrubs. It's a very high-quality plantings plan. The lot is further encumbered by a right-of-way, which allows vehicular access to the two properties to the east. The lot immediately adjacent to the east and the one to the east of that access their property through a vehicular access right-of-way across this property, which means that all the parking on this subject property has to be pushed beyond that driveway area and into what could potentially be building envelope. So we're losing part of our building envelope to parking because it's pushed out of the right-of-way, which is just another hardship, another encumbrance on this property. In addition, the septic system, which is now 68 feet from the wetland line and most likely sitting in groundwater, it's just septic cesspools with no tank from the original house construction. That will be replaced with a new denitrification IA state-of-the-art sanitary system more than 100 feet from the wetlands. The variance is not substantial. The total side yard relief that we're requesting is only 6.2 feet of relief, or 22%, which would be considered a minor variance. The pyramid relief is only increasing by 1,265 cubic feet over the existing nonconformity of 3,707. And as I mentioned, it's 5 cubic feet less than this board granted just a few years ago on the immediately adjacent property to the east.
Which one are you keep saying that, which one are you talking about? Are you talking about 69
60.
or 60?
60, yes.
Okay, the relief granted there was 4386.
Plus 591 feet for the garage.
Right, but the house was 4386.
The total pyramid relief was 4,977, if you add those two together, which is 5 less
There's
than
no
what-
pyramid relief for your garage.
It-
Like 22 cubic feet or something?
We eliminated that,
Oh, so no.
no.
May I make a comment? Every time you refer to this board, there might be a possibility that we could think that the composition of this board is quite different than the composition of the board 2 years ago, when you cite this adjoining property. So that's, for me, is something to be seriously considered in terms of the views of the board members. So every time you refer to this board, it's not quite, for me, it's not quite correct.
Understood. I mean, the board members may have changed since 2019, at least some of you.
Large number.
The zoning laws haven't changed.
No, but the way we interpret it could change.
What are you adding on the second floor? What's the increase due to? You adding bedrooms upstairs, or?
Well, it's a new house.
I know, it's a new house, looks like there's one bedroom downstairs, and then 4 bedrooms upstairs? 4 bedrooms.
Hold on, I have the plans.
Yeah, I'm looking at it, it says bedroom 2, 3, 4, and 5 on the second floor. So this is going to be a 5-bedroom house.
That sounds right.
I went to look at the property. It's narrow. It's sheltered, like you said. It's, it's got the cul-de-sac. It's, I saw the right-of-way for the houses that are to the east of it. You definitely have some constraints. Having said that, I'm still concerned about the total amount of pyramid relief.
I agree.
I appreciate it, it's not gonna be easy to, but I'm still concerned about it. I mean, you said it's a 9+ reduced ceiling height for the second floor. What's the plus? I mean, what is it, 9, 10, 9.10? Is it, you know, it was 10 feet.
It was 10,
I know, so what is it now?
so I think now it's, 9.8.
So that's 4 inches.
I'm okay
No.
with this, so we're clear.
No, it was 12, it was 10.
9:10. She said it was 9.
No, it was 10 feet.
Oh,
It was 10
10.
feet on the first floor.
So it's
Yeah.
9,
And now
10,
it's
so two-
9.8.
So two,
So
not
it's
10.
yes, you're right.
Four
I
inches.
thought you said it was 9 feet, 10 inches.
Okay.
No.
Yep, yep. So you need to be able to count to 4. Considering, just speaking for myself, considering the constraints on the property, and what's going on in this property, and, you know, even though the membership of the board has changed, my perspective of this is I give additional leeway when you're dealing with conservation board, forcing you to move a structure, not because you want to, but because the conservation board directs you to, and still being able to have a viable use of the property. So I'm at this point, as revised, I'm okay with it, but you need to count to 4. I believe Mike, who isn't here tonight, was concerned. I know Helen is concerned, I know Susan is concerned,
Well,
and it sounds like John
I'm
is.
concerned, but I
Yeah.
understand the constraints, the right-of-way
Right away, it's.
and the conservation. And,
When you lose
and I
system.
do feel like it's well protected in terms of, I'm not prepared at this particular moment to give, you know, my opinion one way or the other. I have to really think about it. Because I am concerned about, you know, I'm still concerned about the size. And, you know, the thing you bring up all the time, Suzanne, and I appreciate it, you know, you're arguing for your client, is, well, this is, you know, precedent. We did this and we've done this, and we never get away from it then. I mean, you know, it's like we're always like repeating, okay, and we're gonna get, you know, so I'm a little concerned that, you know, this is like a snowball effect, like, so that has me on hesitation.
I also have concern that there's a sprawl of the new structure. The existing structure is a much narrower structure, and you've added elements to the new structure that have created this. When looking at the existing as opposed to the proposed on the survey, it's a much wider building on a very narrow lot.
Listen, everything's mitigated. The property's constrained. They had to deal with the con board, and Mother Nature's getting a new septic system in there too.
And you have the right
All
of way.
that's worth
And
something.
you have the right of way.
Okay, and you can have your opinion and I'll have mine.
Yeah, I'm just,
That's
well,
how
I'm
it
just
works.
giving you mine, that's all.
Yeah, yeah. No, and it's not an easy thing for me to be able to say I'm okay with it, because I'm listening to the other board members' concerns, and I am hearing their concerns as well. But in my view, in weighing it, you know, my inclination with the reduced relief is to be okay with it, but that
It's
does
at the
not.
higher end,
but
we
that
like to
does-
grant.
I'm sorry?
It's at the higher end, what we like to grant too.
Well, yeah, I mean, but that doesn't get you to 4. So, that.
I mean, I don't love
Right.
the idea that we're coming in and saying, oh, we've done such a great job of reducing relief, and we've only reduced it about 500, 600 cubic feet. That concerns me. I would have liked to have seen something much more significant.
And if you can't get to 4, you're gonna need the peer relief's gonna have to be reduced further. And Susan mentioning, you know, the ceiling heights only being dropped by 4 inches, maybe you need to consider dropping them some more in order to get a 4th vote. I think that's where we are, at least as of right now.
Yeah.
And I understand.
It's a challenge, it's no question.
And I understand,
It's a
it may seem that it's, you know, treating this property differently than the one in 2019. I get that, that's an argument that certainly can be made.
But there are distinctions between the previous decision
Right,
and what
right.
we're being asked to do here.
Right.
They had a garage that factored into a lot of
Yeah.
it, whereas you
Yeah.
don't have the garage.
Yeah, we don't need pyramid relief
You
for the
don't need
garage.
pyramid, so yours
Right.
is much more heavily oriented to the house as opposed to,
Yeah, it's about creating more habitable space.
yeah.
I mean, the reason they're expanding towards the side property line is they can't go towards the water,
We got
and they
that,
can't
yeah.
go towards the street.
They can't.
You
I-
understand that?
I do.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I bring up other cases just because it's just a matter of fairness to me. Like, what was approved next door on a virtually identical lot, it seems like a similar variance could be.
But there are distinctions within it, I
Were the
think.
ceiling heights the same?
I don't know what their ceiling heights were.
Yeah, well,
I
that's.
mean, maybe it's in, I don't think it's in the decision, actually.
No, it's not
Yeah,
usually in
when-
the
it's not
decision
when-
unless they've reduced it.
And the,
Unless, but you can
the
maybe look at the
building
plans.
plans I could foil the building plans
Yeah.
and see what their ceiling heights
That
are.
would be a good idea.
Can you reduce the ceiling height?
Well, we already have somewhat. There's an issue with the windows on the first floor, that certain windows are proposed that are dictating the height of the ceiling for the first floor.
What's that, 10 feet?
Well, the windows aren't 10 feet.
No, the height of the ceiling, the first floor.
It was 10 feet. They were able
And
to.
now it's 9/8.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
9/8 because they brought it down somewhat because that wouldn't change the proposed windows that they have designed and,
Well, they can change the design of the windows, can they not?
I don't believe they've been ordered yet, so at this point, I think
Okay,
it could be.
well,
I'm still confused. What is the height in the first floor and the second floor? Do we know?
Well, we know the first floor.
First floor
we
was
said-
10, so
and now
now
it's
it's
9/8.
9/8, and the second floor is 9.
Is
9.
Well, I said 9, but I think
Probably,
it varies
probably.
because there's different
Yeah.
peaks in the
Uh-huh.
second floor.
Okay.
So it varies from 9 in some parts to 7, 8 towards
Down, the dormer thing or whatever it is,
exactly,
yeah.
the downward side of the
Yeah,
peak.
yeah.
So the architect was supposed to be here, but I
Okay.
believe
Okay.
you guys went really fast today.
Yeah, we did.
They don't
It's
have
only
Germans.
7:20.
Till we got to you.
Yeah.
It's all thanks to Keith,
McDonald's.
pushing us along.
So I.
And it's really up to you and really it's up to the applicant. The applicant could say, up or down vote on this is as much of a change as I'm willing to make, or the applicant could say, I'm willing to do more. So it's really up to the applicant. We can suggest, but we can't, it's
We're
your.
not gonna draw the
And
plans.
we
That's right.
really look at much more reduced amounts of pyramid relief, like the 3,000, cubic feet area. This is a property that has constraints, which I think we all accept, but I still think the amount you're asking for is too much, even with the constraints. So I would be interested in seeing if there's anything else that can be done.
Okay.
And, with the understanding that you may not get to 3,000, but
How
maybe
many
we can
bedrooms
do
are in
something.
sorry, how many
Five.
bedrooms are in the existing?
The existing
Oh.
house, I don't know the answer to that. I think there's at least 4, but I can find out for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you let us know that.
I'll let you know that
Yes,
information.
and also, Mike Daly isn't here tonight, but I'm sure he'll be listening to the tape, and he may, he's certainly gonna consider what the information you've given to us. But, right now, the goal is to get for you, I think is to get to 4, and I'm not sure whether you're there at this point, so, that's where we stand.
Okay.
Yeah. So what we'd like to do,
We'd like to hold this open.
okay? And when would you like to come back?
When's the next?
11/2 or
We have
11/16?
2014 on your next two.
Yeah, yeah.
11/16?
11/16 hasn't been advertised yet, so I was counting 7. Is this your architect?
Yes.
Oh, yes, that's our architect.
Is the architect for we were about to close it, they're moving really fast, but,
Okay, cool. Sorry.
do you know off the top of your head how many bedrooms?
Yes, have I previously sworn?
Yes, he
Yes.
has.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
I just need
You can just state your
to-
name if you could.
Sal Cicerelli,
You're gonna need to
Just
spell.
put your last name again,
CICERELLI.
Mhm. Okay, thanks.
That's
How
okay.
many bedrooms are in the existing structure, if you know?
Existing.
And there's 5 in the proposed, right?
5 in the proposed, I think it's 4. I wanna say it's 4, could be 3.
Yeah, and if you're not sure, you can just let us know.
We'll,
Okay.
we'll let you know.
We'll find out
Um,
next time.
And the other question that I fumbled on a bit was the second-story ceiling heights.
Okay, so they vary from about 6 feet to 8 feet. That's upstairs.
And downstairs at this point is 9 feet 8 inches?
Yep.
there's some concern about the relief sought, the pyramid relief sought is still on the high side. Understanding that the property is constrained and that you may not be able to reach the target that we would hope for, but we would like to see if there's any more movement. Because right now, according to Adam, he doesn't think you have 4 votes to approve, so.
Okay.
Did I correctly?
You correctly said that I wasn't sure. I don't know.
Speaking for Adam, what about yourself, though? You're against it.
Well, the 3 of us are okay with it.
He just-
You need one more.
Helen, are you a no at this point?
Oh, he's definitely a no.
Helen is a no.
I'm a question, but I, still like
John?
to see something.
I don't like answering that question.
So we have all the information.
Okay, and you don't have to answer the question.
Yeah, I don't like
All
answering
good.
that question. I feel pegged. I feel.
We have
Let's
an
move
adjourned,
on.
Dick, please.
See if Mr. Burke wants to speak.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
No.
Would you like to speak?
Hello.
I'll just, Helen, I did provide a memo for tonight's, hearing, which has a summary of a lot of the numbers in my arguments, so I hope you would get a copy of that.
She will.
Did you submit it tonight?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, can I have one? This back is yours.
Oh, there's.
Is there
I
extra?
have
There
extras.
are extras.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take one for her and one for me.
Okay.
I got
Yeah.
it.
Okay. All right. So our other issue is I mean, I have to ask this everyone from the public, but whether what our availability is in terms of the next few meetings.
Did you say 11:16? How is that for you?
Do we have room on the agenda on 11/16?
You haven't advertised, you said, right?
That's what I was saying.
Yeah. I was listening.
So, Does that just take them?
All right, what's going on?
Okay.
Trying to work some numbers.
Just trying to figure out availability of November 16th. November 2nd is full.
Is fall, okay.
Yeah.
I am available on the 16th.
Okay. Question is whether we are.
You have 13.
Yeah, that's what I had. Yeah.
Well, it would have been, actually, it would have been 14, but I just told Anthony, one of them, you want me to take that one off.
Okay.
And I may not have 7 new applications, to be honest. I try to shoot for 7 new ones, but I may
Right,
not have
right.
7.
Okay.
I'd like to
You
go
go first.
for that date,
Well, we go
because,
first. I think it should be fine.
yeah, I would like to push, I mean,
Okay.
we've really asked you to come back a couple of times. Let's get a final and make a decision.
Yep.
Alright, sounds good to me.
And if you have another revised proposal,
do,
you can
if
let
you
us know
do,
then.
or you don't.
And if you
Actually,
don't, then we'll have to make a decision based on what we have.
I'm actually of 7, 8 on the second floor, not even 8 feet. 7, 8.
Okay.
But just
So
let
it's-
us know when you
Yeah.
come out.
Yeah.
That's the maximum on the second floor?
That's the tallest plate height point on the second of 7, 8.
Okay.
Let's
All
move
right.
on.
Okay. All right. So I will. Mike's the lead on this. He's not here, so I'll move that we adjourn the application. Oh, before I do that, is there anyone in the boardroom who would like to be heard in connection with this application, which is for Lassar for 62 Noyak Harbor Road, Noyak? Judge, do you want to give us any comments?
Judge,
Reasonable people will reason. We'll have the memo, I'm sure, right? I just want to make sure, Helen, you got the memo?
We have to swear you in.
We have to.
Well,
We're not swearing.
I'll find out she's gonna get the memo.
Right.
You have to swear.
Thank you.
I don't.
He's not gonna-
He's a lawyer.
Oh,
Yes, okay. Is there anyone who is waiting to on Zoom in connection with this application, which is again for property located at 62 Noyak Harbor Road in Noyak? If you are waiting to be heard on Zoom, the time, you need to let us know at this point by raising your hand. Nobody, there's one person, okay. Okay,
I think it's the homework.
okay. Good evening, can you hear us and see us?
Yes, can you guys hear and see me?
Yes. Did you previously provide testimony?
I did.
Okay,
yes.
so if you can just state your name again, if you could.
Yeah, my name is Steve Lesser. I'm the homeowner of the property we're talking about.
Okay, very good. And what would you like to tell us? I'm sure you heard the conversation.
Yeah, you guys did move very quickly tonight, so I think my wife and I missed probably the first third of it, so I won't ask you guys to rehash it. But I think, Susanna and Sal answered all the questions well. The one thing that I wasn't sure if we answered correctly was the house is currently a 5-bedroom house, and we want to build a 5-bedroom house. So we're not adding bedrooms. We're clearly trying to make it a little bit bigger so that it can be the house that we, have for the rest of our lives, and it's like the property we want to have forever. But just want to clarify, it is 5 bedrooms, it will be 5 bedrooms, and that's what we're asking.
What's the square footage of the existing house? If anyone knows.
Do you have the exact number, Sal?
Yeah, I only have proposed.
I'd love to know that next, on the
Okay.
16th.
Sure, we can provide it.
Okay. And what else would you like to tell us?
And that's it. I mean, we appreciate your guys' consideration, and like the judge said, hopefully we can come to a reasonable conclusion next time. We'll try not to waste any more of your guys' time, but we appreciate it, but it is important to us that we're able to build the house that we want, given all the compromises we've already made, given it's on the water and the wetlands and all that, which you guys have mentioned several times. So that's it. We'll come back next time.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so I would move that we hold the application of the store open for all purposes until our November 16th meeting.
Second.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Ms. Kern?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess?
Aye.
Mr. Tuthill?
Aye.
Mr. Macedonio?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Thank you all for being here, and we'll see you on November 16th.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank
Good
you.
seeing you, Judge.
Oh, you're gonna,
That's the one.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, oh yes, we have the other one.
yep,
Right.
Preston.
Well, which one, the Dune Road, right?
Yes.
Second call,
Preston.
Eugenio Presta, 626 Dune Road in West Hampton, Suffolk County Tax Map 900-391-1-34. This is John's application.
Thank you, Keith. Just so we know.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, Susanna Herman and Consultants for the application. the
Yep, and I
applicant.
previously swore you in.
Yes.
Okay.
This is 626 Dune Road in West Hampton. It's just east of West Hampton Dunes. We originally requested a fairly large,
12,221.
that's right. And the last time I was here, we went from a peaked roof to a flat roof and got the variance relief requested down to 6,052 cubic feet. And that still didn't pass muster. So what the architect has done now is reduced the first floor elevation. What we were trying to do is keep the existing house and do a second story addition on top of the existing structure. However, the existing house was at an elevation higher than required by FEMA +2. So we've reduced the first floor elevation to FEMA +2, or 9, which brings the pyramid relief requested down to 3,028.6 cubic feet. So it's,
So I
Next new
saw
house.
that on, there, I didn't see any calculations on the plans. None of the numbers. I have the cover letter, which says
Right.
3,028.6, which I'm really glad to see that. But this is, oh my God, I don't know what, else there is.
Well, here,
Is it not on the plans? It should be on the plans. I
Are
can't-
these, is this new?
yeah,
That's the new?
Yeah, so we submitted new plans September 27th.
right. A3.
Yep.
It's on A3.
Yeah, page
A3.
A3.
We have.
Yeah, I was gonna
It's
say,
there.
I didn't make them up.
No, it's there, it's there.
Yeah, the total's at the bottom of page A3, 3,028.5675.
Right here.
That's fine.
See, John,
That's a good number.
it's a very good number.
No, this is an old, I have an
What's
old
the new
one.
number, 8?
If my colleagues agree with me, that'd be fine.
Hold on.
The new number is what?
3,028.
3,028 point, some,
All right, so if
five,
you did,
six, seven. Why they took it out that many decimals, I'm
There
not
it is,
sure.
okay. Thank
Got
you.
it?
so you did it by reducing the level of the, it's a completely new house now.
It's a
You're not building on
completely new
top
house.
of
Well, they
Yeah.
are keeping the pilings.
pilings, okay.
Pilings go so far down into the ground that they're not gonna mess
Okay.
with that and disturb that.
Okay.
They're gonna cut the pilings
Okay.
And build on top of that.
and
And build on top of that, so
new
that's how you
house.
got your
Right,
pyramid
so
relief
now
down.
it's at the minimum, that, what was really killing us
The
in our
flood.
previous applications
existing
is
pilings.
we were about 5 feet above what FEMA requires with the existing first floor.
Right.
So we brought that down to
Yeah.
elevation 9 for the first floor, which is the minimum FEMA +2, we're in an AE7 flood zone, so 9 is required as a first floor elevation, so that's our new starting point.
Yeah, it's
Which
very
is-
reasonable.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Sounds very good.
Okay.
I'm sorry we gave you such a hard time, Susanna, but,
I hope I'm giving you a hard time.
but you know what? We give you a hard time, you come back with some good plans, so.
It's not what I would have recommended they did, but
What?
The pilings?
lowering the
The
first
pi-
floor
I understand.
elevation.
Yeah.
I
I
understand.
always advise people to go a
Yeah.
little bit higher
Higher
than
because in
what.
case FEMA changes.
Yeah, they're gonna put some more sand in front of it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
have you ever driven down that road, high tide,
Absolutely.
in the winter on a, yeah.
When the water washes
Cups
across?
all the
When-
time.
yeah, that's why I bought a Jeep,
Me too.
this
Yeah,
road.
yeah.
Cause I had to post a property for a hearing and it had to be done that day and the road was flooded and FEMA could change,
Tonight.
they could change the first floor
To
elevation.
be honest, everything's gonna get flooded at
Okay,
some
Ally.
point. So, I mean, whether it's 2 feet or.
Good job.
Alright.
2 weeks ago, New York City got flooded.
You
They
said
did,
something.
really?
Keith is telling me to leave.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Yeah, we still have another application.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, so,
Well, I want to ask if there's anyone
Oh,
who
yeah.
is waiting to be heard on Zoom in connection with this application, which is the application of Presta for property located 626 Dune Road in West Hampton. If you're waiting to be heard on Zoom, this will be the time to let us know by raising your hand. No hands.
Okay, I move to close the public hearing on this application, set it for written submissions by November 3rd and a decision on November 16th.
Second.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. Macedonio.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess. Mr. Tudhill.
Aye.
Ms. Kern.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Thanks so much, Susanna.
Nana, good seeing you.
Yep. You too.
Okay, item 10 on the agenda, on the
Anybody here?
reopened application is Dilip Patel and Sabit Kaur Dillon, 147 Edgemere Drive in North Sea.
Alright, we're looking for, people from Shippard or Rick Fernan.
I'm abstaining on this one, Mr. Oh.
Okay.
Are they here or what?
Yep.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
The volume is a little tough here, so
We hear you perfect.
I'm trying to hear you. But I understand that Mr. Patel is going to join us.
Okay.
Mark, is that,
Yeah,
do we know where he is?
he said he was gonna join us, but didn't see.
Kevin, is there anybody else on the Zoom at this point?
I guess while we're waiting for him.
Yeah.
I'm sort of coming in on the last minute on this because the fellow who worked for Mark Schiffert, who was handling this, is out of the country. But my understanding is you've heard this case before. You're back on again. Since that time, the Conservation Board issued a resolution, adopted a resolution July 12, 2013. I assume you have it.
No, 2013,
2023, my.
no, we don't have anything. That's
July
what
12, 2023.
We have October 2021.
we have
There was an
nothing.
adopted resolution from the Conservation Board.
I don't even think that's been
Basically, we're
scanned yet.
looking for the necessary variance here so we can comply with that and move forward.
Well, this has been kicking around for a while, Rick, so we're just trying to find out where we are, and we'd like to get it, finalized. But I
It's been
believe,
laying around since October of 21.
yep,
We do not have a copy of the Conservation Board permit. I didn't even see it when scanned into GIS. So if you have something, it would be nice to submit it to the board.
I hope you weren't asking me a question because I couldn't hear you if you were.
Oh, this is not gonna be-
We do not have a copy of the Conservation Board permit.
Oh, well, we have it.
What's that?
We have, it just said that we don't have a copy of
You see
the
it?
conservation board permit.
Oh,
So we can provide that.
Would be helpful.
Whatever modification,
no,
we need
he-
some
he's
modifications
that's the
to
original
sign.
applicant.
Well, the
Yep.
request
Wait,
of the
hold on,
conservation.
hold on, he has to be sworn in, doesn't
Yeah.
he, Mark?
Who's that
Mark,
guy?
well, Mark was sworn in back in the beginning, so, I believe,
well,
Mark, you previously gave testimony, right?
Resolution delivered to you.
Oh, look, 'cause I
Have
don't see
somebody
it.
get that other tomorrow?
Yes.
All right, so we
Mr. Schiffer's office will have that delivered to the board tomorrow.
Okay, so that's adjourned.
Okay, but I don't know whether that's all we need, whether we just need what, and also, we don't even know, we don't know what it says. So I'm presuming it's a permit and it's an approval.
Okay, so apparently you have to let Mr. Patel in the meeting, is that correct? He says he's not with us, he says he's trying to get on, he's trying to get in.
Oh,
Okay?
There is no one else on Zoom right now.
No one else is on Zoom right now, and I believe there's probably a couple of alternatives. We have to have them just, by, with audio, with no video, we can do that.
Adam, can I see the file that you have for this?
Sure.
No, like the,
Oh,
like the, I
actual
wanna
file.
see the Conservation Board referral.
Okay.
You can't join? No.
This is,
Maybe if they want variance, maybe you guys ought to show up here in person one time. It's only 2 years old.
I don't have it.
Okay.
It was originally
Oh,
Brian's.
Originally Brian.
I'm sorry, Katie, I think it's down by, it might be down by you, I don't think it was ever reassigned, that's how long ago it was.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's been
Right
kicking
here.
around for a very long time.
You got it.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm watching,
well, what else are we
I'm
looking
sure I
at?
have. So the client is telling us he can't join for some particular reason, I don't know why. If you want us to go forward, we will get you the adopted resolution tomorrow. It's a minimal variance request, it's for a side yard and a small, pyramid relief. Again, the Conservation Board appears to have blessed that. I don't know what happened back in, your prior hearings in April, or why this was put over till now. I'm only guessing it was so that we would go to the Conservation Board.
I'm sure it
Right.
was.
Right,
And if that's the case, we did that, and we'll get that resolution to you tomorrow. If there's other information you want, I don't know if you want to put this case over because you don't have this document.
We need it.
Is the Conservation Board permit consistent with what you're asking this board for?
Katie, I can't hear, I'm sorry.
Katie just asked if the Conservation Board is consistent with the relief that's being requested and the variance.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, conservation. board
Okay,
is
so presuming that's the case,
Consistent with the relief that you asked. Yes.
presuming that's the case, we'll take a,
But the architect tells me yes.
Okay, all right. Presuming that's the case, then we're gonna, you take in the submission, verify that, and then if that's satisfactory, then we'll be able to issue, render a decision. But at this point,
Katie,
Do we-
Adam, can you ask me what changed on the survey, because I think they submitted a new survey to us.
Yeah,
So-
also-
we need to get the relief that's being requested.
right. Rick, also, Candace is telling me that there was a revised survey that was submitted. So we wanna make sure that
It
with,
was submitted to the ZBA. It was, the packages were submitted to the ZBA with the new survey and the.
okay, is that Mark behind you? Okay.
Yes.
Hey, Mark, how are you? If you could just state your name and address for the record,
The
please.
revised survey and the permits were somehow delivered to your board. I'm not sure why you don't have them, but you
No.
can have the whole package redelivered tomorrow.
No, Mark, I believe the only thing that the lady submitted when she saw me was surveys. I did not receive the conservation board permit.
We don't have a conservation board permit in the file, so I'm not sure how that happened, but that's why this case is back, it's because we're trying to figure out what happened, because we wanna, resolve it. And we definitely need that permit, and apparently we have not received it.
But I think we also need a summary of what's being requested, what
It's right
relief
here.
is being
It's-
requested.
It's never changed.
Oh, it has not, so it hasn't, but
That's
the
what he
new
said.
survey and everything else has not changed it?
No,
Oh,
what
okay.
what he's saying is the conservation board permit was issued, it's consistent with what they need from us. And we were waiting for conservation board.
I know we
Yeah.
were,
Which we
yeah.
need to see.
As long
Yes.
as there's been no change,
That's what it says, yeah.
Right.
and they verified, they will.
That's what he did.
They want to know that, so they'll have to look at that.
It's consistent.
Yeah.
Okay, as long as the conservation board permit is consistent with the the revised survey and the relief that's being requested, we should be good.
Yes.
Okay,
All
Okay.
right, good, let's see.
all right, okay. So at this point, I'm gonna close, well, first, before I do that, just wanna make sure, Kevin, is there anyone else on Zoom who's waiting to be heard in connection with this application? This is Patel and Dylan for property located at 147 Edgemere Drive, North Sea. If you are watching this meeting and you're waiting to be heard on Zoom, this would be the time to let us know by raising your hand. No one on Zoom, okay. If not, I would move that we close the application of Patel and Dylan, except for written submissions. The deadline for written submissions is end of business on November 3rd, and we will have a decision ready, presuming that, as I mentioned, the Conservation Board permit is consistent with the relief that's being requested and the revised survey. If that is all the case, then we will have a decision at our November 16th meeting.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
We'll have the architect's office get you everything tomorrow.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Greatly appreciate it, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Do I have a second on the motion?
Second.
Second.
Okay,
Wait, before you
yes.
take this vote, I just need to put another lead on the case.
I had it as me.
You have it?
Yeah,
Okay.
so did I.
Yeah, yeah.
I still have one with a cross out.
Yeah.
Okay.
It ended up being me.
All right.
Okay.
You had a vote.
Okay, Ms. Kern.
Aye.
Mr. Tuthill. Mr. Macedonio.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Aye, okay. And Mr. Leonard had recused himself, so he abstains. Chair votes aye. Okay, thank you all.
Okay, he can come back in, should somebody tell him. All right.
Okay, so we can vote on decisions.
Yeah.
And,
That was painful.
yeah. And 17 Bishop LLC, that one we're doing, Katie?
We're doing it too.
We're doing it, right?
Yeah,
No.
No, we're not.
We're not.
Because Mr. Walsh's submission was late.
That's
So we
right.
had to open up the record to accept his, which was fine, but then
Oh,
somebody.
and then we
adjourned
adjourned
it.
it till the next meeting,
Somebody submitted a
11-2.
written submission today
Okay.
that wasn't circulated. so we
Okay.
have to-
Excellent.
No,
yeah.
Do we
no
have to
problem.
take that submission?
We did that in the
We do
beginning.
if we take Mr. Walsh's,
Oh.
you can't,
Can't take one late without the other.
no, that's why
Right.
I ran down to see when
Okay.
we got it.
And,
let's go.
and Walsh's letter also says just, the applicant had no objection to the neighbor further responding. That's in his letter, so.
Okay, very good.
Okay.
Okay, so I have some decisions for tonight. The first decision is on the application of Ann Reina for property located at Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-36-210. This application is for property located at 607 Millstone Road, Watermill. Applicant requests a determination that the subject premises is held in single and separate ownership and made such a showing based on the record. Therefore, this board finds that the subject premises located at 607 Millstone Road, Watermill, Town of Southampton, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 936-210, is a single and separate 136,980 square foot lot, as shown on the survey prepared by John F. Burlsky, surveyor, last revised September 19, 2023, and thus is entitled to relief pursuant to Town Code 33115D.
Second.
Ms. Kern.
Aye.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess. Mr. Tudhill.
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Next, I have a decision in the matter of the application of Lizette Geraci, James Geraci, and Skiacia. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing names. Located at Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-332-38.1. This application is for property located at 79 North Summit Boulevard, West Hampton. Applicants inherited the premises from their father and request variances to legalize sheds and a pool constructed on the premises in the wrong locations or without building permits, as well as to reconstruct the dwelling which is in disrepair. The premises is burdened by 3 front yards and is surrounded by heavy vegetation. While this board does not condone construction done without permits, it does find that the application passes the standards set forth in New York State Town Law and the Town Code. Therefore, this board grants relief from the following provisions of the Town Code. For 1, a proposed 2-story dwelling on a non-conforming lot, 33115 continuance. 1, for a proposed front yard setback of 75 feet from the northerly property line, Jerome Avenue, where 76.5 feet is existing. And 2, a proposed front yard setback of 65.9 feet from the southerly property line, Watson Avenue, where 77.3 feet currently exists. 2, to legalize a 8-foot by 12-foot frame shed south that was constructed without the benefit of a building permit. 1, 33011, Residence District's Table of Dimensional Regulations for an accessory distance from street front yard setback of 20.5 feet, where 110 feet is required from the southerly property line, Watson Avenue. And relief from 33076D, placement of accessory buildings, structures, and uses in all districts, and 33083C yards, to allow the shed to remain within the required front yard for the principal building. That was number 2. 3, to legalize a swimming pool that was constructed without the benefit of a building permit. 33011, for an accessory distance from street front yard setback of 51.7 feet from the southerly property line, Watson Avenue, where 110 feet is required, and an accessory distance from street front yard setback of 104.5 feet from the northerly line, Jerome Avenue, where 110 feet is required. And 2, relief from 33076D, placement of accessory buildings, structures, and uses in all districts, and 33083C yards, to allow the swimming pool to remain within the required front yard for the principal building. And 4, to clarify the record for an existing 9.9 foot by 10 foot metal shed that was constructed pursuant to a variance. 1, 33011, for an accessory distance from street front yard setback of 13.2 feet, where 110 feet is required from the northerly property line, Jerome Avenue. And 2, 33076D and 33083C, to allow the shed to remain within the required front yard for the principal building. These variances are granted as shown on the survey prepared by Gary Benz, surveyor, last dated August 16, 2023, and the floor plans prepared by William J. Barba, dated March 16, 2023, and the elevations last revised August 20th, 2023. Granted, the foregoing relief is subject to such other conditions and permits as applicant has already required or may otherwise have to require for final approval of the subject premises. Ms. Kern.
Aye.
Mr. Tudhill.
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess. Chair votes aye. I think she said no. Next, I have a decision in the matter of the application of Mary T. Shannon and Ann M. O'Connell for property located at Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-384-313. This application is for property located at 25 Marlin Road, East Quogue. Applicants request a variance for a pyramid encroachment for a proposed 2-story dwelling on a lot burdened by wetlands and located in an AE8 flood zone and LIMWA. This board finds that the application passes the standards set forth in New York State Town Law and the Town Code. Therefore, this board grants relief from Town Code 33084D, pyramid height, for a pyramid encroachment in the amount of 5,012 cubic feet, 3,792 cubic feet on the north side and 1,220 cubic feet on the south side, for a proposed 2-story house as shown in the survey prepared by Lawrence Michael Hayes of Island-Wide Land Surveying, last revised September 19, 2023. and the floor plans, elevations, and pyramid sketch prepared by TEHN Design Group, last revised July 13, 2023. The grant of the foregoing relief is subject to such other conditions and permits as applicant has already acquired or may otherwise have to acquire for final approval of the subject premises, including the removal of any fences in the proposed buffer area prior to the issuance of the certificate of occupancy.
Second.
Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Mr. Tudhill.
Aye.
Ms. Curran.
Aye.
Ms. Burtis. That was also no? Okay. Mr. Leonard.
No.
Chair votes aye. Next on the determination in the matter, this is the last one, in the matter of the application of Michael Figliolia and Francesca Driscoll for property located at Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-321-12. This application is for property located at 158 Springville Road, Hampton Bays. The applicants seek variances for a proposed detached one-car garage with storage above on a lot burdened by wetlands and a narrow lot width. This application passes the standards set forth in New York State Town Law and the Town Code. Therefore, this board grants relief from the following provisions of the Town Code for a proposed detached one-car garage with storage above. 1. Town Code 33011, Residence Districts Table of Dimensional Regulations for an accessory side yard setback of 8 feet where 10 feet is required. And 2. 33076D, Placement of accessory building structures and uses in all districts, and Town Code 33083C yards to allow the garage to be located within the required minimum side yard and total side yard for the principal building. And 2, Town Code 33084D, pyramid height, for a proposed encroachment to the amount of 724 cubic feet. These variances are granted as shown on the floor plans and pyramid sketch prepared by Sybil M. Kennedy, R.A., dated April 19, 2023, and the survey prepared by Paul Barilski, surveyor, last revised October 25, 2022. This decision is subject to such other conditions and permits as applicant has already acquired or may otherwise have to acquire for final approval of the subject premises.
Second.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Ms. Curran.
Aye.
Ms. Burtis. Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Mr. Tudhill.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. I think we're done. Motion to close.
Motion to close.
Second, third, fourth.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are closed before 8 o'clock.
What did we do
Yay.
with 17 Bishop?